Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Here's Wilson. Steps away to his left. He's going to take off with it. The 20. And all the way down to the 10-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Partner, it's often the man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big...
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20, 10. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. And what we just saw, very, very rare. We only had 5 of those in the first 50 Super Bowls.
The biggest stage, the biggest game, and we just saw it happen again. Extraordinary.
The defense has been good, and they were good again there. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will get him one closer. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
Let's go, baby.
As Seattle jogs back on the field here, you can't help but think with their season that the old cliche, the game of inches, comes into play for the 2019 Seahawks, because Week 17, that game against the 49ers, Jacob Hollister tackled inches from the goal line, maybe a half a yard. That really changed everything, didn't it?
It certainly did, because if Hollister scores and Seattle wins, they end up getting the open week and getting that little extra rest in the playoffs, and San Francisco goes to Philadelphia to play. And in my mind, San Francisco beats Philadelphia but doesn't advance to the Super Bowl. They needed the break as well as Seattle. Seattle went to Philadelphia, had a tough one there, and then got beat at Green Bay in the very next round. So you're exactly right. To me, in my mind, that little bit of space changed everything for them. And by the way, Jacob Hollister did everything correct on that play. The ball was in the correct arm, because everybody said, well, if he had the other arm, he would have scored. But that's not how you hold it in that situation. It was just a terrific tackle by Dwayne Greenlaw that changed the fortunes for both of those teams.
23 yards on the play.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
Throwing now is Geno. Flushed out right. His throw caught. What about the 5? And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Jacob Hollister, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Now, 1st quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Myers connects on the PAT, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Miami's offense takes the field again. You think about their 2019 season, it might be the rare overachieving 5-11 label that you give them. You know, you look at it, everybody...
How do you overachieve at 5-11?
Because look at what they were dealing with, and then they kind of cleared the cupboard, but ended up getting 5 wins, including the one that kept New England from getting a first-round bye in Week 17.
I like the case you just made. You brought me over to the other side on that. Actually, I was just busting your chops. I'm absolutely with you on that. That is an overachieving 5-11 team. If you looked at that roster, and the beginning of the season and even throughout and said to yourself, where the wins coming from? You might have gotten to 3 if you stretched it. I give Brian Flores and his staff a ton of credit for continuing to compete, and now I'm eager to see what they do with the number 5 pick in the NFL draft.
Now Fitzpatrick hit. It's out. He lost the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up, and they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. And what we just saw, very, very rare. We only had 5 of those. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. His throw incomplete.
Partner, that type of a lead, and they're going to fake it from the 15 to try and pick up a 2-point play instead of kicking it through the post. Come on, man. Put that in mothballs. Come on. Come on. Don't do that.
Put that in mothballs.
Yeah, preserve that for it. That's an ancient relic, faking it. I can understand. You want to rub it in a little. You fake it when you snapped it from the 3. But from the 15, mothball that bad boy, just like my grandmother had.
Yeah,
in her attic, the stuff she used to preserve.
It smells terrible. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They run the counter. Laird. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot.